And hello, everybody. Thank you for joining us on Higher Military Hot Jobs. As you'll notice, Lucy Robinson isn't here today, so Amber and I are going to do our best to replicate her British accent. Right? So thanks for joining us, Amber. How do you say Harry Potter?
Harry Potter. That's the best I can do.
And I think my best is, that's not a knife. This is a knife. And that's not even British. So I think that's about the most of the British accent you guys are all going to get today, unless I get a moment of inspiration. But thanks for joining us. Lucy Robinson is, I think, somewhere in North Dakota, making her way through the Yukon. She made her way from Fairbanks, Eielson Air Force Base, down through the Yukon, down through North Dakota, on her way to North Carolina. And so she's not able to join us right now, but I'm sure she'll watch this, and we'll get some texts later. So for those of you that are joining us and you get a chance, let us know where you're calling from or where you're joining from. And if you're interested in, tell us a little bit about what you're looking for or what you want to do. It's a great opportunity to engage with our network. So Amber.
Yes.
How are you doing today?
I'm great. I'm excited for this. I even posted it on LinkedIn. I was like, it's me and Mike today. This is fantastic.
And I'm running right off of like a 1 hour session live with Legion vets. So I'm primed and ready to go. So I guess let's talk about my venting, not venting, but like my tips, the things I want to discuss on the beginning of these when I attend. And so I want to give some advice, right? Rip the band off kind of guy. So the first thing I want to talk about is something that happens in this space that I call the soft Heisman. So many of you know the Heisman Trophy, is awarded. It's the guy holding the football and like blocking, right? So the soft Heisman for me is when you talk to someone in industry and they're like, oh yeah, that sounds great. You should do that. And that's it, right? They tell you what you want to hear or what they think you want to hear instead of what you need to hear, right? And so I get a lot of harassment or people are like, he's, a jerk or direct or whatever, because I tell people exactly what I think they need to hear. I'm a rip the Band-Aid off kind of guy instead of like a gradual pull, whatever, make it hurts less. I'd rather give you some short-term pain for some long-term growth, right? If I see an issue, I'm going to point it out. Not everybody does that. And the reason that is, I want people to understand the human element of this is if you talk with a stranger the first time and there isn't a connection and you're way off base, not everyone out here outside of the military has the ability to say hard things to you, right? A lot of times they'd rather not say it and get off the call, right? And you'll see it also with like performance evaluations and everything. Oh yeah, you're fine, right? And so the reason is if you call me and you tell me your grand plans and your grand plans suck, like there's no way in hell that's happening. And I say, well, that's not going to happen. And you're like, what? Like there's a couple things that happen. Either one, I've just signed myself up emotionally to like deal with you and support you and like guide you through the process. Two, I just started an argument because a lot of senior military leaders want to tell you you're wrong sometimes. And I don't mean that for everybody. Or, three, I could just not say it and say like, oh, that's great. And so what I tell from everybody, I mean, have you seen this, Amber? Have you seen people not want to say the truth?
The hard thing? Yeah. Away? Yeah, that's like the latest trend on some reels. Say the hard thing or say the unpopular thing. I mean, I think it's good to tell people the truth. I mean, that's kind of where I stand at. Any advice that I give somebody comes out of pure support, pure wanting to see them succeed. And if that means you don't fit this role because you don't have this certification, then I'm going to encourage you to go get that certification. If that's the type of role you want, I'll even suggest resources to you. I mean, I try to balance in the middle, and tell them, this is what you need to do, and here's how you need to get there.
And it's not always easy what you have to do, but there are steps to what you have to do. And I remember you saying that as a first sergeant, like people weren't ready for you to always tell them what they needed to hear, even as a first sergeant in the Air Force, right? So it's not a common thing. So what I'll tell people is that your goal in the transition should be to surround yourself with a group of trusted mentors, people that have been where you want to go, that will tell you the truth, like the hard truth, and that have your best interests at heart. And so one of the things I like to give tips. And so you can kind of gauge that in people you have conversations with by asking, right? Not asking, will you be my mentor? Like, I'm sorry to say it that way, but you don't ask someone, will you be my mentor? Like, it happens through multiple engagement, but you can ask someone if it's all like a good call. There's no challenge, there's no truth, whatever. What you can ask them is, hey, would you introduce me to someone in your network, right? And if they're like, yeah, and they don't do it, then that's a soft Heisman. Or, hey, would you refer me for that vice president role? And if they're like, yeah, sure, right? You make those asks of people. You follow up and ask for another phone call, right? And if it doesn't happen right away, you know that it was a soft Heisman. And so you have to learn when you get out, or when you're in the process of getting out, how to decipher the people that are going to follow through from the ones that are just saying the nice things, right? So anything you want to add on that, Amber?
No, I mean, it's absolutely correct. I mean, I personally do it that way as well. I don't want people to tell me the nice thing. I want people to tell me the hard thing. You were one of the people that I started following after I started, looking to get out and what I needed to do. And there was a couple of things you said. I was like, oh, I think he's talking directly at me. This is what my resume says. Am I doing this wrong? What? But I took it. I might have at first been like, gosh, that was really harsh. But I went back and I looked and I did more research, and I started having conversations with people through different organizations that provide mentors, like ACP. And I built my network of people who've already done this, who already sat in the chair that I'm sitting in now, transitioning, and ask them for advice. Mm-hmm. What do I need to do? What does it really look like to get a job? And I was ready to do anything that I needed to, honestly, right, because it's my life. And I'm the only one who can truly control it. So,
right. Well, so let's talk about the other part of this, because you have a great point. Like, you saw some of my stuff and you were like, and that happens. And so here's the thing, perspective, right? There's perception and there's perspective. Perception is like what you think, right? What you perceive. And people say perception is reality, but I'll talk about perspective being different, right? So why did you feel that way, right? Or for me, like, why am I saying that? What is the reason behind it? What am I trying to figure out what I'm seeing that's causing me to say that? If you can understand the other people's perspective on things, then you can navigate relationships so much more easily, right? Mm-hmm. And so that's a key point. And so when it comes to like the transition in general, a lot of us think that we're something, right? And we just throw words out there early in the transition. I thought I was a program manager. I was a senior program manager because I was in E9, because obviously, I couldn't be a program or a project manager. I thought I was like an operations director. I make stuff up. Like, I thought I was a VP of human resources because like I took care of soldiers my whole career. Like, I just started throwing stuff out there. And what I had to do was I had to learn the perspective of people that were in those roles, that were hiring for those roles. And for many of them, I wasn't. Not right out of the military, but if I wanted to do that, I could chart a path to get there. And that's where the work comes in. So I tell people, if someone gives you hard truth, number one, don't fight them. Don't respond back like you're wrong. take it, consider it. If it applies for you, to you, use it. If it doesn't apply to you, find someone that tells you something that does apply to you and follow that and just keep scrolling, right? Like if you're out and you have different experience, share that, sure, with a reason for it. But, don't get caught up in the doom loop. Like you're wrong, I'm right, nothing else. Like find your mentors. Nothing's 100% out here. And then the only other thing I'll say, and then we'll get into the cool jobs, is I just want to talk about outreach. And I posted about it in the last week about like, I don't want to pitch. If I don't know you and we don't have a lot in common beyond just being a veteran, like I can't afford to just put an hour on the schedule to have an unstructured pick your brain call, right? I'm not buying your like HRIS system. I don't need you to do my automation. I sure as heck don't need you to help improve my LinkedIn presence, right? Like there's so many people that get caught up with the easy button. Like I can reach out to 10, 20, 30, 50, 100 people and just say, do you have a job for me? Instead of realizing that it's about building relationships, it's about quality outreach more than just quantity. And so, from a sales perspective, if we were looking at a new applicant tracking system, we would reach out to trusted people we know in the recruiting space and say, what platforms do you use and what do you like? And we'd set up calls with them, right? If we needed an IT solution, like I would reach out to people that I know and trust in this space and ask them, right? It's based off of relationships of trust. Now, when it comes to outreach, when it comes to getting out, I will tell people the key is to start small, right? If I'm not going to accept your connection request, I'm not going to get on a call with you. That makes sense, right? So am I wrong on that one, Amber?
No.
You could say I'm wrong if you want, but like if I'm not going to accept your connection request, if I'm not going to answer a small question that I can do in a minute, like less than a minute, I'm not scheduling a 30-minute call with someone, right? It doesn't make sense. And so what I tell people is when it comes to outreach, the easiest thing to do is to just look when you first outreach, send them a note if you really want to connect with them. Highlight what you have in common up front. Really small ask. Like, I'd love to join your professional network. A lot of people send me like, hey, I'd like to add you to my network. And I'm like, vomit. Like it just sounds cheesy. It sounds like sketchy to me. Like if Amber sent me a message that says, hey, Mike, I see we're both veterans. I'd like to add you to my network. I'm like, but you're asking me. Aren't you? So it sounds silly, but I'm a big like humility, not always in person, but I'm a big, like, if I'm reaching out to you, it doesn't matter if you have 10 connections or 1 million connections. If I'm reaching out to you, I'm going to ask to join your network. Right. So there's the small ask up front. If you're going to like maybe ask for a short call, if you have enough in common over the next few weeks, if they're not like somebody that has a huge network like me or someone that's like a CEO or C-suite leader, like if they're really busy, you're probably not going to get that. And then the other thing is if someone invests any time in you, any time at all, always send a follow-up thank you note. Always send a follow-up thank you note. Like within a couple hours, quick, hey, Amber, thank you for spending some time with me today. I really appreciated your advice. You rock. Best, Mike. That message is always there. Always there. If I ever reach out again, it's there. And then if I had a call with Amber and Amber told me, hey, update your profile, add 100 connections, update your resume to focus on these things or do 5 information interviews. If I want Amber to be my mentor, if I want Amber to continue to invest time in me, what I have to do is do those things, right? So I'm going to go do them. And then when I've done them, I'm going to go back to Amber and say, hey, Amber, thank you so much for telling me to do those 5 informational interviews. Like I spoke to these 5 people and I learned this, right? I really appreciate you. Now, what that does is she's probably going to be like, oh my God, they listen to me. They put in the work. They have EQ. So like there's a much better chance that Amber's going to feel a connection to me and want to invest more time. And then if I follow up a few days later and with another question or ask for another call, Amber's probably going to take it. Am I wrong? I see you smiling.
No, absolutely. I truly love when people reach out and we just connect initially, and it starts out really small, like, oh, I see you did this, or I see you were stationed here, and it's, hey, if you have a chance, would you mind looking at my LinkedIn profile? I made some updates. I took, a class, Mike's USO Mastering LinkedIn class. And I did X, Y, and Z. Can you take a look at it and tell me what you think? I have no problem with that. And then it usually grows from there. Most recently, I had somebody reach out and I connected with them, and they shared their website that they're building. And they said, hey, I have this website. I'm targeting veterans. Would you mind looking at it for me? I just want to get your opinion. That was it. Mm-hmm. So I looked at it. I thought it was great. I shared it with another person to test it out. They loved it, and I gave them the feedback.
I think so. A couple things there. One, I'll say that if they asked me that, I wouldn't have done it because I don't know. Like, there's different like investments in time and different like things going on in our lives. So it's about asking the right people, the right things, right, and still making it small. The other thing I'll say is there is a point in time when it is okay to send your resume, and that is when like I post a job for you and say reach out to Amber if you're interested. In that case, read the job posting. If it says check it out at hiremilitary.us, you go, you check it out, and then it's okay to go, hey, Amber, I checked out this job at hiremilitary.us. I see it has this. I do this. Do you have a quick question for a minute for a question? Or does my resume meet the standard, right? Those kind of, if a recruiter is posting a job, you can go direct to them. Just make sure you put a little bit of effort in first, right? Uh-oh, she's smiling.
I'm listening. I'm enjoying this. I've never been on this side before, so now I understand Lucy.
But I mean, so if you post a job,
yeah,
like, so you're going to mention some jobs today,
yeah,
and people see it, and they reach out to you and say, and they've never reached out to you before, and they say, hey, Amber, I saw the hot jobs. You're looking for these people. I checked it out on hiremilitary.us. I think I'm a good fit. Here's my resume. What do you think? Mm-hmm. Like, that's okay. That's way better than putting in the comments, I'm interested in that job. Now, in this case, I know that you guys say to do it. You'll go back through and do it. But one has a much better chance of success. And that's the one that does the outreach and puts in the work on the front end. So I think about that. And then the last thing I'll say is that there are different ways to build relationships on here. Kristen Savvy is here on the, I know Kristen because every day for like 3 months, she posted I was her bestie on LinkedIn. It's like Amish Smith did it for me, did it every day for like 6 months. He was the first comment on my posts. You can't help it. So I even got a message from her husband saying I should connect with you since my wife talks about you so much, which is hilarious. And I didn't accept it yet because I'm waiting for him to attend my Mastering LinkedIn webinar. But there she is right there. But I mean, at the end of the day, it's personality, it's repeated engagement. She shared content that got me to know who she was and the way she operates that got me to recognize who she is. And she built a relationship there. And so all of you can do it. And with that, 19 minutes in, you've got 10 minutes to do all of those jobs, Amber. Go.
Look, I'm on the spot. I'm ready to go. I will do my very best to get all of this out to you in the next 11 minutes. But if for some reason I can't get to everything, again, this is just a snippet of what we have on our website. So go to our website, hiremilitary.us. It's right up there if you can see. Sorry, my blurred background. All of our jobs are on there. And as Krista mentioned in the comments, we also have fantastic resources that will help with all of this. So we have beginner's guide to an effective LinkedIn profile and how to target your resume. And those are the two that I would recommend the most to anybody looking to improve themselves and improve their networking. So with that, let me try to do this in 10 minutes. We got this. I can definitely do it. So the first, I'm going to start with the direct hire community. So those that are looking for permanent positions, if I talk about a position that you're interested, put a comment in the chat with the position title or the location. We will share the links for the roles after, because unfortunately LinkedIn will erase the links while we're live. So put in the chat the title of the role and we will get back to you. And if you have any questions on any of these roles, you can always message me and ask me directly. So the first is, we are working with a national food services company that produces ready-to-go food kiosks in grocery stores. So like Publix and Kroger. So think pre-sliced meats, fruits, veggies, sushi. So they are looking for regional managers at many of their locations. So they have locations in Louisville, Kentucky, Detroit, Michigan, Baton Rouge, Louisiana, Farmers Branch, Texas, which is right outside of Dallas, Denver, Colorado, and Indianapolis, Indiana. So again, regional managers for those locations. They are also looking for different positions within their Farmers Branch location that is northeast of Dallas. So they are looking for HR coordinators, franchise sales managers, national training specialists, account managers, and warehouse NetSuite coordinator. Those are all on our website. So if I mention something, you're curious, definitely go check it out. Read about the job description and put a comment in the chat if you're interested in hearing more. And I can always send you a link in a message as well. As well, they are looking for a national training specialist in Los Angeles, and they have a remote position as additionally. So if you are apt to travel, you love being out training people, want to go visit all the branches, that is the role for you. So go check it out. The next role I have, we are looking for a manager and senior manager. This is a hybrid role in the DC metro area. So this is supporting one of the big four accounting firms. So think Deloitte, KPMG, EY, PwC. This role is part of an ongoing fixed term contract supporting the U.S. Army on internal auditing projects. You can expect to be leading and guiding both teams and clients in internal audits and meeting strategies. These roles require an interim or secret clearance alongside a degree in accounting, finance, IT, or business management, and 4 years of experience ideally. They also would like if you have CISA, CDFM, CGFM, or CPA certifications. If you're interested in this role, put in senior manager, and I will get the link to you.
Can I jump in real quick?
Yes.
It's an amazing opportunity. I worked on this project, and you basically get to solve some of the Army's problems becoming auditable. So helping the Army account for all the people, equipment, finances, money. I mean, it was such a rewarding opportunity. And to get into this kind of a role in the Big Four in a government practice is such an incredible launch pad. Having this opportunity on your resume, lights out. Like it'll change your ability to progress.
I love it. All right. Again, if you guys are interested, drop a note in the chat. The final direct hire role that I'm going to share is an executive assistant. So this is in Arlington, Virginia. Think aide de camp. So they're looking for someone who is extremely motivated, detail-oriented, to be an executive assistant for the president and CEO. So they're looking for someone with a bachelor's degree or equivalent experience, 3 years of administrative support or executive assistance in a professional office setting or senior military setting. If you are a senior military officer who has executive assistance experience, that is preferred, and you must be proficient in Microsoft Office products. So that is executive assistant in Arlington, Virginia. Go check out the link at hiremilitary.us.
I gotta add though, you say executive assistants, but the comp package is pretty good on this one, right?
Yes, it is.
They call it executive assistant, but this is being an aide, right? So if you've been an aide to a general, you've had any of those types of EA type roles in the military, you would be a good fit for this one. And there's a very good comp package with this one.
Yes, absolutely. All right. So again, those are just a few of the direct hire roles we have. We have a lot more on the website. So definitely go over there, check it out, read the job descriptions, reach out if you have any questions. So we're going to move on to my bread and butter, my specialty in SkillBridge. So SkillBridge, we get this question a lot, so I'll briefly cover. SkillBridge is only for transitioning service members in their last 180 days of service. You cannot do SkillBridge if you are already out, you're already a veteran. You have to be within your last 180 days of service, and you do have to have command approval to participate in a SkillBridge program. So if you are unsure, reach out to your command team, your transition team, and see if you're eligible. And if you have any questions about any of these roles, I am your lady to reach out to. I will have an answer for you. So the first one Mike posted today, it's fantastic. It's an entrepreneurial SkillBridge internship. What does that mean? If you want to own your own business someday and you are nervous about how to do that, and you want to get hands-on experience first, we have an opportunity for you. GBC Food Services is a national food service company. They are looking for people to run kiosks in their local grocery stores, and you will gain hands-on business insight. You will be mentored by people within the company. You can see everything it takes to be a business owner and learn all the best practices. And they have them in all major locations throughout Ohio, California, Idaho, Montana, Illinois, Florida, Louisiana, Oregon, Pennsylvania, and Massachusetts. So all of those are listed on our website. Definitely go check that out.
I got another one.
Yes.
I got to tell people, like, this is such a unique opportunity. You get to go in for 3 months and run a business, like run a franchise with all the training support. You see exactly what the franchise would be before making the decision whether you want it or not. Mm-hmm. Like, mind blown. I was talking to the president of the company. He said the average is about $2,000 to $5,000 a week is what they bring in. Like, that's not bad, right? And so I just would tell people, like, please consider this opportunity. Like, not only are they nationwide and so many incredible opportunities, but you will never get a better chance to explore entrepreneurship at no risk than you will right now. So keep it in mind. Back over to you.
Absolutely. All right, guys. The next one I have is an account executive inside sales. This is in Austin, Texas. Fantastic location. I know a lot of people are looking at Austin when they get out. So this is with a company called GetScale. They offer end-to-end customer acquisition and recruitment services. They help some of the fastest growing businesses out there find, convert, and retain customers, students, workers, you name it. So they are looking for somebody with high energy, who's dedicated to be part of their sales team and work hybrid location. So it is not in the office every day. It is a couple days in the office, a couple days remote. They want someone who's coachable, committed, and very high energy and wants to influence. So if you love to chat, you love to teach people, influence people, you're like Mike Quinn, this is the job for you. Seriously, sales is probably one of the fastest growing industries right now out there. We see so many great opportunities. We've actually put people in sales roles previously in SkillBridge, and they absolutely love it. So if you have any questions about that one, that is account executive in Austin, Texas. The next one I have, super exciting. I know we've talked about this the last few weeks. We are still recruiting for this. We are recruiting those transitioning into AWS Solutions Architect roles. So what that means is this program starts July 22nd and runs through October 11th. The dates are firm. So if you are available to participate from July 22nd to October 11th for a 12-week trading SkillBridge program, and you want to learn AWS, this is the program for you. The first 12 weeks, you're going to get different certifications such as Sec Plus, A Plus, Net Plus, and then the second 12 weeks after your SkillBridge internship is paid, and it is also remote. And that's where you'll learn all of the AWS and get certified. After that, you will be placed on a contract either in the DC metro area or San Antonio. That, however, is on site. So keep that in mind. You do have to be able to relocate at the end of the total of 24 weeks of training to the DC metro or San Antonio area where you'll work for one of their clients. And really the only requirement for this role is know your way around the computer and have a TS clearance. That is non-negotiable. TS clearance is a must. You can't, like Mike will say, I have everything, but I don't have a TS clearance. We can't get the clearance for you. You actually have to have the clearance in hand. So that is the only stipulation. So if you are available during that time, reach out, AWS in the chat, and I will share the link with you.
Hold on. You also have to be eligible for SkillBridge.
Yes, and SkillBridge. Yes.
Like,
Well,
look, if you could start July 22nd and maybe you only have 10 weeks instead of 12, maybe they can work that out, right? Like there's some flex, but you have to be able to start for this one on July 22nd, and you have to be SkillBridge eligible, and you have to have a TS. Everything else we can work, and you got to like kind of like know how to turn on a computer. So like everything else they can work for. But I will share with people that if you do your research on what AWS solution architects make with 2 to 5 years of experience, in the DC area, it's upwards of 200,000 like that. So you get 6 months of hands-on training, and then you go right into a job for 2 years of experience with the clearance, and you're golden. Go ahead.
Yep. Absolutely. Absolutely. So again, those are just a few of the roles we have. I know we are like 1 minute over, and I'm going to share a few more things with you before we go. Hopefully our amazing Olivia will let me stay on. So we have a few roles. We are looking for police and firefighters in multiple locations: Washington State, Colorado, DC Metro, and Ohio. So if you are transitioning or you're already out and you're looking to make a change into those locations and you're a police officer, firefighter, EMT, we have those for you. They're listed on our website. Another one we have is with a service disabled veteran-owned small business. They are looking for a fires planner and a fires lead to go to none other than Hawaii, Fort Shafter. Fantastic location. I mean, fantastic job. So if you are in Hawaii, you're looking to stay there, this is a great job. So it's on our website again, hiremilitary.us. Please go check it out. Veteran Service Brands is another company that we work with. Jack Child is the founder of this wonderful veteran-focused franchise network. They have 4 different brands exclusive to U.S. military. So that includes G-Force parking lot striping, Field Ops athletic field markings, Mach 1 epoxy flooring, and Paint Core. They are offering a turnkey opportunity for veterans to get into a franchise and be their own business owner. It is a fantastic operation. You do not have to, they literally give you the plans on how to do it. And they're extremely supportive. We love working with them. We've worked with them very closely over the last 6 months or so. I mean, they're just fantastic. So check out their opportunities. It's on our page. And then finally,
I gotta pop in before you're finally. I spent
problem.
several days with them down in Clearwater in January. And every franchise owner has to be a veteran, has to be, right? And I got to talk to them about how their experience has been. And I had so many people say how it changed their lives, like absolutely changed their lives. And you think about it, these parking lot stripes have to be redone like year over year, painting, the epoxy floors. You talk about the athletic field striping. Like these are things that have to be done and redone. It's not one and done. And so their business is going really well, and they've built such a community. So I would consider reaching out to Amber about that as well. And the last one, go ahead. Sorry.
No problem. And the last one I have is Acuity International. So if you are excited to go back downrange, you want to go to Iraq and Somalia, we have roles on our website. They are looking for veterans with various positions in security, intel analysis, medical technology. So if you got out and you decided, man, I really wanted to deploy one more time, this might be the opportunity for you. So go check it out. So those, again, all the roles we have, I think I did okay. I did it in 14 minutes.
You did amazing.
Yeah.
Blame it all on me.
I do. I blame it all on you, Mike. But we thank you all for joining us today. We really appreciate it. All your support. We're here to help. Again, if you are interested in any of these roles, do reach out.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, everyone. Bye.